Hey everybody. The purpose of this video is to let you know about a conference I will be speaking at, as well as what's really been going on behind me here. So first off, if you live anywhere near the Arlington, Tennessee area, which is just outside of Memphis, Tennessee, come see me at the Mid-South Homesteading Conference on Saturday, September the 26th. You can head over to homesteadeducation.com to get all the details about all the different speakers that are going to be there, what their topics are, and what the costs are involved, and directions to where it's going to actually take place. Unlike some conferences where you meet in a big hotel or something like that, we're actually going to be meeting on a farm and having our homesteading conference. How more appropriate is that? So head over to homesteadeducation.com and come out and join me at the Mid-South Homesteading Conference on Saturday, September the 26th, 2015. All right, so what has actually been going on behind me in all these funny little videos? I keep saying everything changes. Well, it all really boils down to this. I've decided for our kitchen garden, which is what it's typically termed, that I do want to go ahead and use a row planting technique. I'm not getting away from permaculture. I am not planting massive acres worth of monocropping. I'm going to plant several varieties of different plants in a garden plot behind me in a row method. And I'm going to do it using this seeder. And whenever you try to mechanize something, you end up having to give a little to get a little. So to use a seeder like this, I had to have my soil prepared to do that. I also ran into a lot of other problems that are kind of outside of the scope of this video that we'll talk about later. Things where Back to Eden Garden just didn't work for me. And that's not because Back to Eden Gardening doesn't work. It works perfectly well for many other people, but it did not work for me, and I'll explain why in another video. So we're going to move forward using this. The good folks over at Haas Tools at HaasTools.com sent this seeder to me to use here on the homestead. So over the next few videos, we're going to go buy the book and assemble this machine, talk about what's necessary to use it properly, and go ahead and start planting some brassicas that will do well here in the Deep South, even though the first frost is not all that far away. So what's really been going on here behind me? In the first video, you just saw me take out the things that were already there. I had a trellis that was no longer being used. I had completely overgrown space that was fenced in, and that was a real hassle to deal with. That fence that was there, which was in place so that we could let the animals free range around the property and try to just fence in the garden, really became an issue of maintenance. We just kept having problems with weeds growing up around the fence, and it's too time consuming to do that. So I took away all that stuff, came in here and tilled up the garden. And to do that properly, I had to do a one-time bottom plow, get the soil turned over just one time to break up that hard surface. I disked it so that I could get the soil to a place where I could actually till it. And all that's good and well for now. In the future, we'll talk about what my plans are for maintaining this area and why I feel that the tiller was not something that's destructive to the forces here. In the next video, you saw where I brought in all of our poultry and contained them in the area so that they could manure on the ground. The whole point here was to put chicken and duck litter on the soil so that we could get some nitrogen into this, so that when we do use this garden seeder, we can actually get plants to grow. Again, a little outside the scope of this video, but the methods that we were using before just were not working, and the soil was not retaining the nutrients that we needed. So we had to get some nutrient back into the soil. Now, as you can see, there's no poultry behind me. So we're moving on to the next phase, and it's time to get ready to actually plant the seeds. So y'all come along with me and see what we're doing. Have a little faith. I still have swales over here that are 90% filled with weeds. However, I do still have little blueberry bushes trying to pop through. I still have yams that are growing and a bunch of other things like that. So they're a complete washout, but I am still struggling with how to make sure that the productive plants can outcompete the plants that I don't want to grow, the weeds. So this is just an approach on the kitchen garden. It is not a deviation away from the grand scheme. So thank you all for watching. If you're interested in the garden seeder, keep an eye out for the rest of the videos and go visit hosstools.com. If you're interested in the conference, head over to homesteadeducation.com, and I'll see you in Arlington, Tennessee. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.